welcome to the deep dive. We're here again to sift through some source material you sent our way and, well, pull out the practical gold.
Exactly. And usually that might be, market analysis or maybe policy papers.
But today,
Mhm.
today we're aiming a bit higher, much higher, actually.
You could say that. The sources we have today are presented as direct guidance from someone called Lyra.
And Lyra is described as, let me get this right, a revered member of the High Council of the Galactic Federation and the appointed StarSeed Master.
That's the one. Quite a title.
It really is. And look, we should probably say this up front. Whether you approach this material as, say, deep metaphor, maybe esoteric philosophy, or you take it literally as cosmic communication, our job, our mission here, it stays the same. We're taking this, frankly, complex roadmap and boiling it down into practical advice. Advice for you, the listener.
That's absolutely right. This whole deep dive, it really centers on just a few key questions, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, how do you actually elevate your personal frequency? How do you line up with what feels like your purpose, your mission?
And crucially, how do you navigate the, let's call it the density, the challenges of everyday 3D reality?
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay, so let's get into it. The big theme weaving through all this material seems to be that this shift, this golden age they talk about, it's not some event out there that we're all waiting for. It's an internal shift, an alignment of your own frequency that you have to embody.
Exactly. You are the focal point of this change. It starts within. So to really grasp this, we need to start with Lyra's kind of foundational physics, the nature of dimensions.
Okay.
They're described not as different places stacked on top of each other, but more like octaves of vibration, octaves of consciousness,
Right.
all coexisting right here in the same space.
So we're living across multiple dimensions all at once then.
That's the idea. The guidance says, look, your physical body, that's your vessel for the 3D world. Form, density, linear time, that sort of thing.
Right, the tangible stuff.
But you, the actual you, the listener, you're presented as this multi-dimensional being. You have these other layers, an etheric body, an emotional body, a mental body.
And I guess the problems start when we forget about those other layers.
That's exactly where the stress and disconnection comes in, according to Lyra. When we feel heavy, anxious, kind of stuck, it's because our awareness has shrunk down.
Contract.
Yeah, it's contracted and locked onto just the 3D world, that lowest, densest octave. We basically forget we have these other energetic blueprints operating alongside the physical.
Okay, so if that heavy feeling is from being contracted into 3D, how do we tune back out? Or tune up, maybe? This must lead us to frequency.
It does. Lyra calls personal frequency the core language of the cosmos. It's like your unique energetic signature.
Your vibe.
Your vibe, exactly. Constantly broadcasting. And it's made up of your dominant thoughts, your core beliefs, your prevailing emotions. It's the aggregate of all that.
Okay, so that's the poetic definition. Let's ground that a bit more. Frequency is basically your energetic state, right?
Yeah.
Your mood broadcasting all the time.
Precisely. High frequency is things like love, joy, peace. It feels faster, lighter, more expansive.
And low frequency, that's the fear, guilt, anger stuff. Slower, denser, feels contracted.
You got it. Lyra says your frequency is essentially your personal radio dial to the reality you experience.
Your reality tuner.
Okay.
So if frequency is the dial, and maybe most people feel stuck on the Fear FM station, how easy is it, really, to change that channel?
Well, the sources suggest it takes consistent, intentional effort. It's not usually a one-time flip of the switch. It's about consistent input.
Which brings us to something really interesting in the material, the matrix paradox. For people who identify as starseeds or light workers, the first thought might be, okay, how do I get out of this dense reality? How do I exit the matrix?
Right, and Lyra's guidance on this is really clear. It's a direct, no, you should not fully exit.
That does sound counterintuitive. Why stay?
Because, according to this guidance, you are here specifically to act as an anchor of high-frequency light within the density.
So you're like a transducer? Is that the right word?
That's a perfect analogy. A transducer converts energy. Your mission, your purpose here, isn't necessarily about doing some grand external thing. It's about being a certain way.
Oh, so?
By holding your integrity, your peace, your high frequency, amidst the surrounding density and fear, you actually help transmute that lower energy. You convert it just by being here and holding your light.
So if all the high-frequency anchors just left...
Lyra suggests the whole process of mass awakening, the shift she talks about, would be significantly harder, much slower.
Okay, so the core mission, it's not about achieving something specific out there. It's a becoming.
Exactly. The mandates, as Lyra lays them out, are 1. Anchor the new Earth template, basically. Hold the highest frequency you can. 2. Model the way, live with impeccable integrity, be the example.
And 3.
3. Operate from the path of joyful service, doing good from a place of fullness, not depletion.
All right, so let's talk about the biggest frequency drain. Fear and worry. They're like the static on that reality radio dial. Lyra offers some very practical tools here.
Yes, immediate protocols. The core idea is always to flood the system with a higher incompatible frequency. You don't fight the fear directly, you overwhelm it with something better.
I think anyone listening can relate to that feeling of worry being heavy, contracting. How do we stop that spiral when it starts? The source mentions a micro tool, the 10-second anchor.
Yes, this one is brilliant. It uses your physical senses to yank your awareness right back into the present moment because, fear tends to live in the future or the past.
Right. So how does it work?
When worry hits, you just stop. For the first 5 seconds, you do a grounding sequence. Lyra suggests the classic 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method.
Okay, remind us.
Name 5 things you can see right now, 4 things you can physically touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste.
Okay, that definitely pulls you into the now. What about the next 5 seconds?
That's focused on breath work to calm the nervous system. Specifically, 3 slow, deep breaths, making sure your exhale is noticeably longer than your inhale.
Ah, the long exhale trick. That signals safety to the vagus nerve, right?
Exactly. It helps shift you out of that fight or flight panic mode and back into presence, all in about 10 seconds.
That's incredibly practical, quick and easy. But what about those worries that feel more persistent, like linked to a real-world issue, money, health? You can't just breathe those away forever, can you?
No, and that's where the next tool comes in, the worry to power translation.
Yeah.
This is about taking the energy of the worry and redirecting it.
Okay, translating worry into power. How?
You ask the worry 2 specific questions first. What specific action is this worry actually asking me to take? This helps strip away the emotional overwhelm and pinpoint if there's a concrete step needed.
Like making that phone call you've been avoiding or sending that email.
Precisely. It gets to the practical root. Then, once you've identified that, or if there isn't a specific action,
Yes.
you ask the second question. What specific act of service can I perform right now to shift my focus?
Ah, interesting. So you move from internal contraction to external contribution.
Exactly. It shifts your energy immediately from that feeling of lack or fear towards expansion, giving, positive action. It interrupts the worry loop.
Okay, so that deals with internal triggers. What about external contamination, as Lyra seems to put it? There's a lot in the source about energetic boundaries, starting with something called the 48-hour defrag.
Yes, this is presented as a kind of deep cleanse for the modern energetic system. It's a commitment for 48 hours, absolutely zero consumption of uncurated media.
Uncurated meaning.
No news feeds, no social media scrolling, no random internet surfing, definitely no doom scrolling. Basically avoiding that constant influx of potentially low vibration information.
And what do you do instead? Stare at a wall.
No, you replace it with high vibration input. Time in nature, listening to uplifting music, maybe specific sound frequencies like solfeggio tones. The idea is to purify your auric field, which Lyra says gets kind of sticky with collective fear.
And this seems closely linked to another boundary, the information diet.
Very much so. Lyra really emphasizes that many of the matrix traps or density patterns are encoded and transmitted through low vibrational information, especially via mass media.
So be mindful of what you consume.
Extremely mindful, including having a digital sunset, basically no screens for at least an hour before sleep, giving your consciousness space to, well, breathe and elevate before you sleep.
And for just daily upkeep, there's a practice called sovereign energetic hygiene.
Right. This is a daily visualization. You picture a pillar of light coming down from above through your crown, anchoring you deep into the earth, into Gaia. And as you visualize this, you consciously, intentionally call back all your energy, all your power from any place, person, timeline, dimension, or reality where you might have left fragments of it.
So it's about reclaiming your energy daily.
Exactly. Affirming your complete energetic sovereignty. Every day.
Okay, this is all fascinating cosmic stuff, but let's bring it right down to Earth. How does this frequency concept apply to, say, very 3D goals, like getting that promotion or finding the right career path?
Right. Lyra has specific guidance here, too. If you're stuck, not getting that promotion despite being skilled,
Yes.
the source suggests the delay isn't usually about competence. It's about not yet radiating the frequency of senior leadership.
What does that mean, practically?
It often means your communication style is stuck in expert mode. You're great at explaining the technical how, the details, but senior leaders, they operate more on the frequency of strategy, vision, implication.
So you might be brilliant, but you're not speaking their language, vibrationally speaking.
Kind of, yes. You're vibrating as the expert technician, not yet the visionary strategist.
Okay, so how do you shift that? The source gives a tip called the sponsor advocate audit.
Yeah.
What's that? It sounds like more than just networking.
Oh, it's much more strategic. You identify, say, 3 influential senior people in your field or company. Then you commit to having brief, high-value interactions with them over maybe 90 days.
High value meaning.
Not asking for favors. Instead, you might concisely share a relevant market insight, or perhaps ask their advice on a strategic challenge they might be facing. You're demonstrating strategic thinking.
Ah, so you're showing up differently. Lyra has a quote here. Performance is seen, advocacy is heard.
Exactly. You need people talking about your potential when you're not in the room, and this audit helps build those advocates.
And tied to this is the communication shift tip, moving your language.
From explaining the how, the expert details, to articulating the so what, the implication of your work for the bigger picture, the overall strategy, you need to start sounding like the role you want, speaking the executive frequency.
Got it. It's a full energetic and communication recalibration. Okay, let's switch gears. Relationships, manifesting a life partner.
Lyra frames this differently, too. The goal isn't finding someone to complete you. It's about attracting a co-creator to amplify your light.
Amplifying light. So where do you start? Boundaries seem key again.
Absolutely crucial. It starts with what Lyra calls the sovereignty vow. This means setting and enforcing clear, non-negotiable boundaries against any disrespect, energy-draining, or diminishing interactions. Period.
Why is that so important for attraction?
Because when you hold that line firmly with integrity, you are broadcasting powerful self-worth. And that high frequency of self-respect is apparently the strongest magnet for attracting a healthy, high vibrational connection. Someone who respects you because you clearly respect yourself.
Okay. And what about actually visualizing or meditating? Lots of people try to visualize their ideal future partner. Lyra says, stop that.
Yes, stop focusing on a future event or person. Instead, the guidance suggests the embodied partner meditation.
Embodied.
For maybe 5 minutes daily, you focus intensely on generating the feeling of already being in that desired partnership. Feel the stability, the safety, the joy, the deep connection, the being valued. Feel it now in your heart center.
So you become the frequency of the relationship itself rather than focusing on the lack of it.
Exactly. You tune your radio dial to already loved and partnered FM right now. That's what draws the corresponding reality to you.
Makes sense. Finally, let's touch on abundance. Lyra says abundance isn't something you get, it's something you are. How do we shift from feeling lack to feeling abundance?
It's vibrational physics again, according to the source. One tool is the energetic tithe of gratitude.
A tithe of gratitude.
Upon waking up, before the day's worries set in, you identify 3 specific things you already have that represent abundance to you. Could be small things.
Okay, and then?
You focus on feeling genuine, sincere thankfulness for those things right in your heart center for a full 68 seconds.
68 seconds. That's very specific. Why that duration?
The material suggests that 68 seconds is the approximate time needed to significantly shift your emotional momentum and begin impressing that frequency onto the quantum field. It moves you from focusing on lack to amplifying existing flow.
Interesting. And there's one more tip. The integrity circuit.
Yes, this links directly back to boundaries. Implement one firm, energetic boundary. It could be unsubscribing from that fear-mongering email list, finally saying no to that draining commitment you've been dreading.
Anything that stops an energy leak.
Precisely. Because integrity, meaning energetic wholeness, no leaks, is the very container that allows abundance to accumulate and flow. You need a strong container.
Okay, let's bring this all together now. If the core mission is to be this anchor of light, what's the most impactful way to actually do that? How do we serve in this dense world? Lyra calls it harmonious observation.
Right. And this is all about vibrational physics in everyday interactions. When you're faced with someone expressing intense fear or anger or negativity.
Which happens daily.
Exactly. The instruction is, do not engage at their frequency level. Don't get drawn into their drama. Don't try to fix them in that moment.
So what do? Just stand there.
You hold unwavering, compassionate presence. You maintain neutrality in your own heart center. You essentially become a calm, stable island of peace in their emotional storm.
You allow them their experience, but you refuse to lower your own vibration to match it.
That's the essence of it. It's challenging, requires real mastery, but it's presented as the highest form of service in those moments. You anchor the higher frequency for them without getting pulled down.
And this connects to that phrase, be of service, not sacrifice.
Absolutely. True service, sustainable service, comes from overflow. You have to fill your own cup first with joy, peace, self-care, those high frequencies. Then you serve from that fullness. Serving from depletion leads to burnout, resentment. It's not the path.
Okay, so anchoring these higher timelines, this golden age, Lyra insists it's fundamentally about changing our internal frequency alignment, and this leads to something called crystalline coherence.
Yes, that's the term used for when your personal energy field starts to naturally harmonize with the Earth's own ascending frequency grid, with Gaia's rising vibration.
Like tuning forks resonating together.
A good analogy. And there are tools for maintaining this coherence daily. One is the 0-point reset.
How does that work?
Twice a day, maybe morning and night, you again visualize that pillar of light. But this time, the specific intention is to cleanse any energetic debris or residue you might have picked up. It helps prevent entanglement with the heavier descending timelines or collective anxieties.
Like a daily energetic shower.
Pretty much. And for an immediate, in-the-moment grounding tool, there's active no-time grounding.
No-time grounding.
The instruction here is to consciously try and synchronize your own heartbeat with the Earth's resonant frequency, the Schumann resonance.
That sounds advanced. How do you even do that?
It's probably more about the intention and focused awareness than literally matching a Hertz number. It's a form of biofeedback, really, by focusing on that connection, that resonance with Gaia's heartbeat.
Yes.
It apparently pulls your awareness instantly out of linear time, out of future worries or past regrets, and powerfully anchors your full multidimensional self right into the present moment, the no-time point of power.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for me? It really seems like this entire complex mission, all this cosmic guidance, it just boils down to personal integrity and consistent, practical frequency management.
I think that's exactly it.
You're not really meant to fight against the darkness or the density. You're just supposed to, well, tune your own light up. Calibrate your frequency beyond its reach.
That's the core message, isn't it? Tune up your vibe consistently. The guidance offers the how-to, the protocols, to make that elevated state more achievable, more consistent.
So your real strength isn't being fearless.
No. It's about making that unwavering choice to operate from your higher truth, from love, from peace, even when fear is present. Choosing the higher frequency despite the lower frequencies swirling around.
So if you listening right now have absorbed all this, what's the very first, most tangible step you can take?
Lyra leaves us with a very direct challenge, connecting back to one of the first tools we discussed. What is the single biggest worry, the most pressing concern you have right now? That thing that's making you feel contracted?
Identify it.
Identify it, and then immediately, right now if possible, perform that 10-second anchor on it. Use your senses, use your breath.
That first conscious choice to shift your state.
That is your first powerful step in anchoring your own light, your own piece of the golden age right here, right now. So go forth and shine.